to own it. Just wanted to take the time, learn all the things that I could about you. Now it's such a mess here. Oh, we are just stressed here. Used to be so easy with you.
Thanks for coming on my show today.
Thank you for having me.
Tell our viewers what you do.
Well, I party for a living.
How fun is that?
Yeah, it sounds exotic, but it's just, I have party stores.
Awesome. So when did you get into that?
That's a long story. I'll make it short. 33 years ago, I exited the Navy, and right before I exited the Navy in Lemoore, I met a girl, and her mom was a manager in a party store in Visalia, and while I was waiting for my job, I was air traffic controller, by the way, and I thought, boom, I was going to go right in the FAA. I scored 100 on my test, and so I'm waiting, and so I said, hey, can I get a job in your store? And I was a stock boy, and then it happened for years, and then 3 years later, I said, I'm just going to open up my own in Bakersfield. It was so easy. It seemed pretty simple to me.
Yeah, because you got to see how it worked in and out.
Worked my way from the bottom up, learned everything, took it all over, and it was pretty primitive back then. The party stores weren't as big back at that time.
So it was like you're one in 50 miles.
Yeah, there's like maybe one in all Fresno back then and one in Visalia, and there was nothing in Bakersfield, so I had to go do it.
You had to go to the market where there was
188,000 people, and now it's about 380 on the sign, so definitely jumped in on that.
Okay, so you said you went to Bakersfield to start it there, and then now you're all in Fresno. What made the leap to come back here and close the Bakersfield?
We came back, bought out the one in Visalia.
Okay. Oh, you bought out your girlfriend's mom's store?
No, she was a manager, but she and another person owned it.
Okay.
And so we bought that out, and then we combined it. It was Party Mart in Bakersfield, Party Works in Visalia.
Okay.
So we had to come up with a name. I like Party Mart, Walmart of party stores, but then we settled on Party Works. It's older, established since 1985. And then, so then I was trying to think about what can I do now. I want to build an empire. So 1997, we opened Clovis next to Toys R Us. It was small, and then we opened up more. 2001 was River Park, and then 2004 was West Fresno.
And it was always Party Mart at that time?
Party Works. Party Works.
So it was Party Works at that time.
Yeah.
So then when did you start combining with Party City?
So I think it was about 2006, 2007. They go, who is this guy? He's surrounding us, and so we talked a little bit, and then the next year we just made a deal, and I joined Party City as a franchise and gave up Bakersfield and basically owned the market of Fresno, West Fresno, North Fresno, and Clovis.
So not all of your locations are called Party City?
Oh, they are actually now, yeah.
They have to, yeah. Why'd you give up Bakersfield? You couldn't have someone else run that?
Oh, I mean, I like to drive to Fresno better, but the drive to Bakersfield was kind of blah, yeah.
So you're just like, I'd rather just focus my efforts. Did you sell it? Did you sell it, or you just?
No, but I kept it open a couple of years, and when the time came, then we shut it down. So.
Wow, that's so cool. So so you really do get paid to party.
Definitely, yeah.
Okay, so do you get input on what you're going to sell at these stores? I know it's kind of part of a franchise, but like, let's say I have a toy and I want to get it in your spot. Can you do that? Don't worry, I don't. It's a hypothetical.
Yeah, well, we have to basically follow all the party cities. There's about 800 around the world now, and so you go in our store, basically be the same.
So you don't do any local, like, here I have this?
Yeah, like summer luau, we'll do extra things. There's summers because back east it's cold.
Okay, so there's times that you could get it in. If you like something, you'll try to get it in at some point.
Extra stuff, but it's basically kind of the same thing. Not as creative when I used to do it. I built it all basically from Halloween. Halloween was huge. Back in '95, I caught onto that and built up my business from.
That's the time I go in there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big time, because then you try to go, especially when it's a sale afterwards, you can just wipe up the clearance, and I was that girl.
So we do a little bit extra. I mean, we do the Party City way, but then we try to make it look a little more Halloweenish, like the old Halloween stores.
And like, you're the place to go for anything. So if I want to have a baby shower, a birthday party, anniversary party, you're a one-stop shop for the most part, right?
Everything. I'd say everything but food and liquor. Yeah, basically we have
all
anything you need, any celebration. I mean, we have Diwali, we have.
I love it.
Yeah, I mean, we have all these different little Chinese New Year. I mean, anything. They come up with something new.
So you really do got everything. You don't really need to go to local toy people and do all that.
No.
So what's the brain toys franchise you had. Do you want to talk about that?
So when we split off, it used to be Prp Works and School Works. We had school supplies within our stores for teachers.
Oh, got it.
But that business was going down steadily, and I figured, so I have to split it off. This Party City doesn't do that. So what can I do? I can't do a standalone teacher store, so I came up with the idea of doing an educational toy store.
And what's that called?
Professor Toy.
Right, and that's in River Park area, right?
It's over, across the street in Villaggio by Barnes & Noble, and back in the corner by Horn Photo and Pismos. Yeah.
So that's where you go for the smart kids, right?
Well, I mean, it's just a little more quality toys, and everything is educational related, something to learn, not just
It's mindless. A little pricey. I've gone there before for the...
Yeah, we'll have some nicer stuff. I mean, it's better quality, lasts longer.
And so that's where it's like, that's just purely local. There's no franchise on
Correct.
that.
Correct. But some people think it looks like it's something big, but it's just me. I try to, get creative. We have a logo, and I trademarked it for the nation in case I want to go bigger someday, get it down and expand. But I try to make it look cool. And
I know, I do love it, and it is a great, because I was a nanny for a genius child, and I mean, there was like, you can't go a lot of places for that,
Sure.
to get him stuff that I needed to stimulate his mind 24/7. So that's a really good place. So what if someone's watching this across the country? Can we order online from there?
I'm still working on that. We have the online, pick it up outside, we'll bring it to the car, but
you can't, you have to be local.
Nothing to ship yet. We're baby stepping it really slow.
Why?
But,
you have nothing else to do.
I know. I've just been so busy. That's kind of my baby, and I'm like, I need to get on it. But that's our intention this year, but I've been saying that for about 10 years.
And how do you go and find like these good toys, but the better quality than this? I mean,
well, we joined a group. It's called the Good Toy Group.
Okay.
And it's a series of independent dealers around the country, so we don't compete against each other. We have our own market, and we share ideas, and we do catalogs at Christmas. We target, not everybody will get one, sorry, but we send to certain homes and areas in the valley to target them. And we have a 48-page catalog, and all those items in there were hand selected by a committee in our group, and we all buy it and we get a special deal and pass it along.
And then games, so what's the oldest child you go up to? Do you have like teenagers, do you have games?
I say 12 and under, but we have some things that go older.
Like some family games that you want to keep.
Yeah, we have the memes, like the what do you meme, and there's some.
I just played that last night.
So you know what I'm talking about,
That's awesome. So, okay, Party Cities and everything, we could put our orders online, do all that. Can we do things special, like personalized, if we want something, or we have to personalize it somewhere else?
At Party City? They have something online. It goes through their internet site, and you can buy it and have something done.
So you guys have everything?
Pretty much, yeah, it's big.
And you just opened the new store, which I heard was so much fun to do.
Oh yeah, it was a working party time. So so it took, that was a big undertaking. I don't like moving stores. Our last one was West Fresno 5 years ago. But this one was at old Smart and Final over at Clovis and Shaw, next to Marshall's. And we just need something, a new change. And
where did you move that one from?
We used to be at 1205 Shaw. It's kind of behind BC's Pizza. And
so you didn't move very far?
Block and a half, basically.
But that was such a...
Yeah, it was a lot of work to prepare. We closed for 2 days and we opened right away. People thought that can't be done.
Is it a bigger location?
Yeah, it's slightly bigger, although the last one was pretty big. This one's...
Was it just better foot traffic?
I think it's better foot traffic and a better layout and better, like, newer fixturing and just
in
overall.
2 days?
Yeah, the last one was Valley Sports. I don't know if you remember Valley Sports if you're from the area that long, but we moved in there. It wasn't a party store, so we kind of worked around. It was never kind of built that way. So now it's a party store.
So that's good for everybody watching, because I work at a bar that at one point was across the street, then they got the bigger building like across, and it took people a while to adjust. But once you get it, you're like, okay, that's where it is. That's where we're going to go.
Sure. It's going to be a little learning curve. So.
And then you said you got it, now it's on, where we put it in our nav.
Oh, the maps wasn't correct for a day or two, but everything should be, you get on there, Party City, Clovis will go to the new location, not the old one. And yeah.
So when's the best time to shop? When can we get the deals? I always go after Halloween to get those clearance items. What are some of the other times?
Well, we don't do too much. I mean, we usually try to give good prices, but basically after a season, like graduation, we'll mark things down, but mostly it's 2022 items because
So no one's
nothing's
gonna, yeah.
left. We can't do anything with it again. But Halloween we do mark some things down, but we pack the things we want to carry.
Because there are some all year round costumes. You can always go there to get a costume.
And when I was in the Halloween business more, while I was developing, I figured you always have to have something to the last minute. I want people to come in and find something, so I'll buy too much because you can always sell makeup, hairspray, wigs, things for witches, pirates, whatever. If you have too much, well then you pack it and save it for the next year.
So you basically essentially run 5 stores, your 4 Party City locations and the Professor Toys.
Sure. But I don't do it myself. I have really great people.
I can only, but you do so much hands-on. I mean, you're a big part of moving. You and your people actually moved a part of the store across the street. You had to do a lot of that.
A lot of people, a lot of work, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That was just kind of the brains behind it to help set it and get it ready and kind of logistics and try to make it go smooth.
How much did COVID set you back?
Well, we had to close. That was very awful.
So how long did that last for? About a couple weeks or a couple months?
I kind of remember maybe a month and a half. So yeah, it was pretty daunting as a business owner what to do. And but yeah, ever since we reopened after COVID, everything seemed to pop up. Everybody in the valley at least seemed to want to get out and about.
And now people are having parties again.
Yeah, definitely. So it's good for business.
Did you lose a lot of your employees when you had to close down and then reopen?
I let a few, laid them off, but I brought most of them back. I kept the managers on part-time just so they could get some money in, and I wasn't even on the payroll. But yeah, it's just a lot of people came back, but then some of the younger people didn't because there was incentives not to come back.
Right, and I think that we all face that in their different industries. So even though it's franchise, what if like the employees want to dress up to work or something? Can you do fun stuff like that where you have like...
I try to get them to do it, like Cinco de Mayo, hey,
okay, so that's a thing.
Serape or whatever, and yeah, there's always something.
Because you're the party place, I would think that'd be fun to do.
Yeah, on St. Patrick's Day, Mardi Gras, wear beads, I mean, it's endless. There's always a celebration, yeah. Lays in the summer, football, everybody wears their jerseys and makes fun of their other teams, like.
Okay, so whenever you throw a party personally, like at your home, does everyone expect like everything because you're the party guy? You better have everything there. I'm
pretty quiet. I don't really entertain too much, but when I do, my boys have birthdays and they're the worst. I'm bad. I'm a few balloons and a few decorations, and I open up. I go, oh, this is what this stuff is. I sell it, but I never use it. It's awful. It's like, yeah, I need somebody to help me.
To help you learn what your supply is.
Somebody that's better with decorating and putting the stuff up, and that. I'm just the dad, I guess. I need somebody else to help me with it.
Oh my God! And you do the ordering too for your stores?
No, actually, I used to do everything before I switched, but now life is so much easier.
You got somebody more savvy on that will actually know how to.
It's the system with Party City because everything's kind of like the same stuff, so it orders.
Yeah, but I think if you're in the Central Valley, like you said, more. We have Diwali, we have more things that other places in like Kansas wouldn't have, like different events.
Yeah, we try to comb through things that we know when we talk to other people. Like, hey, so we try to add other items that are in the system. Yeah.
But I love that there's a whole little group of like you said, of people that with the toys and everything that you guys like get together and like. Hey.
That's why I started with the party business too. Back in '95, there was about 8 or 9 of us with 20 stores, and the gentleman was from North Carolina, and it was kind of the same thing. We were the ground floor of a party store co-op, and it ended up when I left to switch to Party City, there were 250 stores around the country, and there were people everywhere, and we would just talk to each other and compare notes, and we were treated differently than a separate, like a single or 2-store guy kind of guy.
And then, so I have another question. Like, if somebody, I think you the night that I met you, met my friend that has where he goes to raves and sells a lot of the lights and stuff. Yeah. So, can you ever offer discounts if someone wanted to buy a crazy stuff in bulk? And I know that's kind of what a store does. Can they come to you and kind of work out a deal like that, or not really?
Nonprofit organizations, we give discounts.
Okay.
Veterans, we give discounts. If it's something special like that, they have to ask the manager, who probably will come to me. And then we'll see, if it's case lots or something. Yeah, we can do something extra.
Yeah, that's cool. Because if you have like a recurring thing, and they're like, we want lights in bulk or this in bulk.
Yeah, do a lot of light sticks too. Yeah, I'm sure he sells a lot of those.
Yeah, for sure.
And the leggings and the dress up stuff in different colors. And,
oh yeah. Yeah, then it's good because it's kind of like somebody's out there supplying the stuff that you have and you just order
Or
more.
ask where it came from. Hey, Party City, you know. Or Vinny, yeah.
And so your commercials, were you ever, I saw the Party City commercials that they kept on playing like during Halloween and everything.
Sure.
Do you have any say in that, or that's just something that's a national?
Yeah, it's like McDonald's, you're a franchise, and they just play
There's no
what's
local
out there.
commercials.
But when I was independent, I used to have fun. I used to be involved with the creative. I'd come up with an idea, and then they would go with it, and yeah, we had a lot of fun with things. And I used to have celebrities here. I used to have like R.A. Mihailov, who was Leatherface in Texas Chainsaw 3, and
Love
Kane
it.
Hodder, who was Jason a few times.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they would come and do appearances. I had Eddie Munster, Butch Patrick. Yeah, we used to promote and bring people here, and then people would line up and get their autograph and memorabilia and things like that.
You can't really do that with the franchise.
No, but I was going to check you back into that. When I closed my store at Clovis, I saw the back room where the guys wrote, like, R.A. Mihailov, 2006, and the date. And then there was George Weber. He was an old guy. He was Michael Myers, and they called him The Shape. He was probably like my dad's age, and he was the guy. He was there. He wrote his name on there. And they at different stores they did it, and I was like, oh, I took a picture like right before we closed up and left. But that just reminded me, hey, maybe I should try to do some more promotion, but I need to get permission before I do that.
Right. And what about for Professor Toys? You can get some kids to come here and do a commercial for like kid celebrities.
We've done some stuff locally, but yeah, I've had guys do the kendamas demonstrations out front, and yeah, I'm thinking maybe we should do that again. We have a lot of room out front over by the water fountain, but yeah. And
I know you guys have been good and charitable too. Why don't you mention some of that? I know I
don't really talk about it much. I just do things, so yeah.
That's very nice what you do for the community.
Yeah, I mean, I'm involved with like the Symphony in Visalia, Police Activities League in Visalia, the Creative Center Foundation. I don't know if you know about the Creative Center.
What's the Creative Center?
It's like developmentally disabled adults, and there's about 90 of them. It's a place for them to go. They can learn basic life skills, art, music. They act, they do plays.
How fun.
Yeah, but it's a great place for them to go and do something productive and learn. And I'm on Rotary and just different things like that.
What about like Toys for Tots or stuff like that?
We help with Toys for Tots, definitely, yeah. And then, yeah, we donate around town, different places. We spread it around like CASA and Visalia Rescue Mission, and a lot more in Visalia, because that's kind of our base. We started in 1985. It's an old business, and I started in 1989. Been around for a while, so.
And then do you have the boxes where people can donate, where they could buy the toy from your store
Definitely.
And then donate it?
In our party cities too, we do that.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. So what about this air traffic controller thing? Did you ever, did they ever call you and you're
waiting.
Like, no, you're like, I got this business now, you can take it.
Yeah, after a while, I was like, okay, yeah, but I'm way too old now. I need mental acuity for that, you know. I think they stop after 35 or something, or unless you're former military, but yeah.
How long were you in the Navy for?
5 years. Because of the job, it was kind of a good job, and you got to spend more time for it.
And then you decided you were going to...
Well, I just got stuck into the party business, and yeah, it's like, oh, this seemed pretty easy. Kind of the details of everything kind of is in my head, and it's easy to put the things together and put it out and sell it. And
so if somebody wants to start a business, what advice do you have to give them?
Don't.
Don't?
Yeah.
Besides...
How was this in the right place at the right time? It was a business.
And a niche market. You knew there wasn't one there. You didn't try to compete with a bunch of things.
No.
I think a lot of people make that mistake in this town.
Nothing was big at the time. The party business was really new, and I got in at the right time. And then I jumped on that Bakersfield thing, knowing that would be great. And that was, it just boomed really fast for me. I had to move a couple times within 5 years. And
because it was just too big, you needed a bigger spot every time?
Kept growing and growing and growing, yeah. And then when we added the other store, and then we moved it into town, and then added the stores here, and it just, yeah, it's hard to explain, but it's kind of, I would think it'd be harder nowadays. There's too many roadblocks.
Right. Well, thank you so much for coming on my show.
Sure.
This is fascinating. Next time, bring me a toy.
Okay, I will.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks so much for coming on my show today.
Absolutely, I'm excited.
So you have a lot of different things going on. You've been an athlete pretty much your whole life.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
So started young. I grew up on the East Coast outside of Philadelphia, so we played all
You have no accent for that.
I lost it when coming out here. I've been here for 20 years now,
Okay.
so it was thick when I moved out. But yeah, so did the whole baseball, football. Then I really got into ice hockey growing up, and then when I started getting a little bit older into the late teens, really got into snowboarding, and then that's what brought me out to California in 1999 to try to pursue a professional snowboard career.
Wow.
Yeah, so I lived up in the mountains.
So how did that go?
It was a poor 20-year-old living at the ski resorts, just trying to, this is before all these big
Sponsorships.
So trying to make our own little sponsor me videos and trying to.
You had no social media, none of that. No, I get it.
No, nothing. So it was fun. It was really enjoyable in my young 20s. But then when I was 23, I overshot a big jump and I compression fractured my spine. And then that took me into a weightlifting class just to try to rehab myself. And then that's when I met a coach then and said, like, you're not a snowboarder, like, you're a power lifter, like, this is what your frame is designed for. And,
right.
And I dismissed it at first because I said, just get me back on the mountain.
I can imagine.
But then after I took to it really well, and that's been 20 years of my life now, just powerlifting and weightlifting. And
thank God you didn't get paralyzed.
yeah, I was very, very lucky. I mean, my L2 vertebrae was cracked right next to your spinal cord, so it was very risky.
Tell us about your powerlifting career. What's going on with that?
So, I mean, it was more. This is before all the social media and everything.
Right.
So it was really just trying to be fun at the gym and trying to just get as strong and lift as heavy a weights as possible. And but then now, as I've gotten older, it's morphed more just into bodybuilding and really just trying to keep a decent physique. I'm at that stage of my life now where I'm like trying to be the fit after 40 type of thing going on. So many people just let it go, but I'm really trying to make that my a little bit more of my passion now to try to spread that to other people out there. And it's okay to work out and exercise and try to be healthy as we get older.
When's the last time you did a powerlifting competition?
Oh, I haven't done one years. Never really got into it before because I didn't really have it. It wasn't really anything that was big when I was young 20s. Now it's you could go anywhere. They have them all in the valley, but it wasn't a big thing back then.
So you don't do it currently?
No,
but you do a little bit of bodybuilding currently, right?
That's what I'm trying. I'm trying to figure that out. As I've gotten older, the muscles don't work like they used to, and things tear and break.
So tell us about the big break that happened. What happened to you physically?
Well, when you saw me at the gym, that was back in January, and I was snowboarding, and I went off a jump, and all I did is I just put my hand down, but I ended up tearing my left tricep, and not completely off the bone, but enough that it snapped it, and I could barely even move it, and just tried to rehab it and do it on my own. And that's what I was telling you about doing the whole PRP thing and getting the injection.
Yeah, so how did that go? I really want to know about how this PRP works.
So basically what, that was with Dr. Batista. So what he does is they will pull your blood and then they spin it through a centrifuge and then they'll ultrasound where the tear is and then they'll inject just the platelet-rich plasma directly into where the tear is, which that plasma accelerates cell regrowth. So it's almost like stem cells on a
But
budget.
different,
Yeah,
because
on
you're
a
using
budget.
plasma
Yes.
instead of, okay.
Yeah.
And it's worked so far? Like, when did you start noticing that it was actually working?
I mean, I guess like 2 weeks after the tear, I started exercising right away.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it was starting at zero.
I know.
But being able to use the muscle.
Just the fact that you were able to do it. I know you were not going at max,
Yeah.
but
But then I mean, it took about 4 to 6 weeks, and I was pretty much healed.
So what do you do now? Do you still have to go see Dr. Batista?
No, I mean, I see him rarely, just as kind of wellness kind of visits, just to make sure I'm keeping up with my health.
So he's like, once you were healed 4 to 6 weeks, you guys didn't really have to mess with that anymore.
No, we went and saw the ultrasound afterwards, and it was just amazing to see, a big, large black tear, and then all of a sudden it just not be there after a couple of weeks.
That is impressive. So how long has that been around? What was he telling you about it?
I don't know. I've heard about it for a couple years now.
Right.
But it's kind of.
It's still experimental, right?
It is
not...
because it's one of those things that it could work for you or not work for me, and we have the same exact tear, but your body doesn't take to it, or my body does.
Right, you can reject the plasma cells.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've had him on the show a few times. I'm going to bring him back and talk just about that and be like, what do we? That's really.
He's good at that experimental
stuff. It's great
stuff.
that he suggested that for you.
Yeah.
And that you were open to it and like, yeah, let's do this.
Yeah, no, I mean, and it's a little pricey, but I think if it's going to be something that can accelerate growth, regrowth, and heal myself better, I'm all for it.
And faster.
Yeah.
I mean, that's.
Get me back in the gym.
Okay, so tell us about your day job. You do this in mortgage loans.
Yes, so I'm a mortgage lender, loan officer with Precision Home Loans. I've been doing that for, since 2007, so 15 years now, and provide mortgage services for people buying houses and refinancing houses. And that's kind of where I'm going with things right now, is trying to brand the lifting lender as my thing now.
Literally.
Because I want to be, just like here doing this, I want to be able to provide. I think people will take to advice, on people like advice on different things, whether it's finance advice, whether it's health advice, lifting advice, mortgage advice, housing advice. So, that's been, mortgage is lifting is a passion, mortgage is a passion too. I love being able to help people. It's very rewarding being able to take someone from getting them pre-approved to being there, watching them get keys to their first house or their 10th house. But it's a lot. I like to be able to, just be the expert in that field and help someone from the beginning to the end.
So what's going on now? I always hear different things about what's going on now. Is now a good time to buy a house and not? What's up?
I think now is always a good time to buy a house, especially if you're going to live in it. There really is never a bad time, especially with prices of rent going up.
There are some there are some better times than others.
Oh, yeah. It's one of those things, though. It's like, if I would have known to buy Amazon at the IPO, who wouldn't have done that,
Right,
But
right.
now in hindsight. But, right now rates are trending upwards. We're probably at the highest level we've seen since 2008, maybe, somewhere around that range. But even with that being said, prices are still projected to go up.
So it's like where you're not going to buy something for like 10 years, or just
exactly.
I get it.
You try to wait to time the perfect time, then the time's already passed by you. And I'm telling a lot of people right now, yeah, interest rates are high. They've gone up, but there's a period of time where interest rates are going to go back down. So it's a point in time where you might be paying a monthly payment that's a little bit high on the higher side right now, and then if rates go back down,
and you can switch that. You can make that happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's what we did a lot during COVID, because rates got artificially pushed down so low. So pretty much, I think everybody in that year and a half, 2 year time span, they were refinancing. People some in the 1% and 2% range.
What's one of the craziest stories you have, where you brought someone to buy a house that just had like the worst credit that you never thought you can get to buy a house? Can you tell us a story like that?
I mean, as far as, I don't think there's people so much as like the worst credit possible, but I think, people coming to me and thinking that they don't have a chance.
That's what I'm saying.
I see that a lot, or people are like, wow, I didn't think I'd be able to qualify for that much. And, it's nice to be able to show them even just different angles where to go about and say, okay, well, I know you wanted to put X amount of dollars down on the house, but if we maybe pay off these two debts, you're going to get rid of, maybe $600 worth of payment. Let's have that go towards your housing payment.
Right.
So that's one of the nice things doing it as long as I have. We're able to see those different angles where you can kind of see where someone's monthly budget wants to be and how we could actually get it there for them.
What's one of the biggest misconceptions that you come across in this? That people, you know, you've mentioned one about people thinking there's no way they have a shot at getting out. So what's another one that
I would say probably one of the biggest misconceptions is that we just arbitrarily think about what somebody could qualify for a mortgage. People don't think it's like it's not like there's not a math calculation that goes into it. It's a very simple concept on how we actually, approve people. It's their incomes, it's their debt, it's their future debt, it's their credit. All that goes into an equation. It's just a math problem. We tell them, okay, this is the maximum amount that you qualify for. But I think the misconception is maybe I look at someone, I think maybe figure out what they do for a living, and I say, okay, I think you could afford X. Here's what you should be able to buy.
And it's not like that at all.
Not at all. Not at all. It's just a basic concept model.
It's always the opposite too. You really never know until you dive in there what you're dealing with.
Yeah, and I think one of the more of a misconception I would say would be in the credit world. People think of like their credit and they think of, oh, I don't want to pull my credit because it's going to lower my credit score.
Yes.
That's a huge misconception.
So it's not true.
There is sometimes a small hit to a credit score, maybe a few points, but it's more of what your debt utilization is on your credit cards. It's more important that your $10,000 limit on your credit card has a balance of no more than $2,000 to $3,000 at any given time during the month. You want to keep that utilization as low as possible versus maxing out your credit cards, because that is a bigger chunk of the overall credit score. Not the inquiries is less than 10% of what goes into your overall credit score. I think that's a really big misconception that people have. They say, oh, I don't want my score to go down. I said, yeah, you already have a 780 credit score. If you're going to go down to 772, there's really no difference.
So do people come to you at all for renting or strictly purchasing?
No, strictly purchasing. And what I try to tell a lot of people too is try now, even if the plan is to buy a house in a year from now. Because you'd rather find out now exactly where you're at or exactly what you need to do to better game plan for that year down the road. And
usually it does take about when you start making a plan. I mean, it can take.
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Depending on how much people want to save, where they want to buy, how much they want to spend. A lot goes into it. But I think what I try to educate people on is it's better to look and open up and find out what the skeletons are in the closet now, rather than say, okay, we're going to try in a year from now. Maybe this whole year, if we would have found out a year ago, we could have done some things throughout the past 12 months so that when you're here, maybe we're able to get your credit score up 50 points.
Cleaning up some stuff in the meantime.
Clean up some stuff, maybe save a little bit more money. There's a lot of different things, but say, find out now. And then even if you find out now, maybe you're already and you don't even know it.
Right. And so people can hire you, just you, or they have to go through your company? How does that work if we want you?
Oh, yeah,
if we're looking for a house and we want you, because they see you and they think, oh, you're cool, I want to go through you.
Yeah, so I mean, people just reach out to me directly. So the way that the process works.
So I can see a house here and then get you here?
Yeah, typically most people most people should contact me first before they even start looking at houses. Okay. Because you'd always start with the lender before you even go out.
Before the realtor.
Yeah, because you want to know. I mean, a lot of times a realtor really doesn't even want to. They want to talk to you, but they really want to know, okay, is this worth my time to go show you a $600,000 house if your budget's your budget's $400, and
right.
A lot of people don't even know what goes into their payment too. So that whole that's a good discovery phase for a lot of people too to find out.
And then you can kind of help with the realtor if they want some advice. You're like, oh, this person sells a lot, like $300,000 houses in that range.
And I do a lot of when I have clients that they come to me and they don't have a realtor, I try to do a lot of kind of personality matching and try to find out, fine tune, what's their, how do they match up with this realtor?
Because you've been doing this for a while, yes. So you've come across, most of the realtors in town.
Yeah, I recently had a couple who they had to relocate. The husband had some health issues, so he had to be closer to the city, and that was a very difficult time for the wife and the husband, and that was a good match that I was able to place them with versus, maybe a young tech guy, young in his, young mid-20s. I want him matched up with a, young mid-20s tech person that's a tech realtor, that's into all the newest, cool stuff.
Right. No, that's really important. So what are some of the best stories that you've had of helping people? Tell us a good one. Yeah.
I mean, just helping everybody just in general.
There's got to be a soul-touching story that you've done lately or recently or at some point.
I mean, well, so I guess one of them was there was a lady who she lost her husband in a tragic accident, and it happened several years ago. But she came to me as a referral from somebody else, and she was moving on in her life, so it was really nice to be able to just help her out and know that her story is moving on and having a better situation than she was 3 years ago.
That's good, and that's good to know too that you like help single women like that, like going through. Because I think everyone always kind of feels like, is this person gonna track me around? What am I gonna get? I mean, I know you're not the realtor, but I know that's everybody's fear.
Oh yeah, and it's rewarding. You know, at the end of the day, they're coming to you to, you know, you're divulging your whole financial life. You're divulging your whole credit life.
Right.
You know, that's big to be able to, here, I'm going to go through your bank statements and see where you spend money. Like, that's what we do. And we look at everything in tax returns. So, you know, so you got to be really trustworthy of someone that you're willing to, you know, give them all of your information and, you know, being able to provide them with that process to be able to get them approved for what they want to get approved for, what they can get approved for, and then get them into the house in a contract and get them closed. You know, getting offers right now with the market the way it is, it's a very competitive market, and, you know, having a local presence in this area for as long as I have, it definitely helps. Being able to be out there and being one with the community. Fresno and Clovis is a very small area. It's weird how, you know, you're two people away from connection somehow.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And so it's good to be able to have that grasp with a lot of people to be able to go, okay, you know, oh yeah, I worked with so-and-so before. Yeah, I think we can get this offer accepted as a good agent, you know. So, you know, it definitely helps being here as long as I have and knowing as many people as we do.
Okay, so if we want to contact you about that, where do we go?
Easiest, just call my cell phone, 559-706-8091. You can find me on Facebook or Instagram. You know, I'll provide all my contact information. We can flash it up on the screen, maybe.
What about fitness advice? Where do we go? Is that more of a social media? We'll keep that social?
That's what I'm doing more of my Instagram too. That's, you know, Justin_Tiso. That's where I'm trying to, I guess, just be the new age, new face for the old people, I guess.
What are some of the biggest misconceptions you get in that realm with fitness?
Oh God, it's the young kids these days. How quick can I get big? That's the biggest one. How fast can I get big? And, you know, when you tell someone, you know, that's, well, how long have you been doing this for? And he's like, well, 20 years. Like, it's going to take 20 years? It's going to take a while, you know. But I think a lot of people think they can go jump on a treadmill for a half hour and go do some weights and some sit-ups, and all of a sudden they got a great physique. But it just takes time, and you got to stay the course. And, you know, I like working out at the gym for 2 hours a day. It's just kind of part of what I do. And
right, and some people don't understand the time.
Yeah, it's dedication and staying with it.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so we'll contact you on all those fronts. When people call you for advice, and like, let's say, you know, I mean, you're giving your time and everything, do they contract with you to become their lender? How does that work?
No, so basically, you know, I'm paid from my company, but so they don't, I only get paid if a deal closes. So whether somebody comes to me and, you know, we spend an hour or two working through their pre-approval and it's just not going to happen, it's not like they got to pay me like an application fee or anything like that. So it all gets paid through an actual closing on a transaction, and they're not actually paying me directly. You know, there's fees associated with doing a real estate transaction, so it's all built into that.
Wow, you work hard.
You know, and it's kind of, you know, it's weird how lifting and lending, you know, can apply to one another.
It takes patience.
Patience, yes. Dedication, and I think that, you know, you get out what you put in. You know, if you, just like lifting, you put in a lot of work, you're going to see results. You work hard at your job, you're going to see results. You know, if you are lazy about something, you're not going to have good results.
And then do people get referrals for referring you?
No, there's
nothing with that. That's with like real estate.
Yeah, that goes against, like, there's certain real estate violations that, you know.
Oh, realtors aren't even supposed to do that, huh?
Yeah, you're not supposed to pay someone for a referral. Now, there's different marketing agreements and things like that that people do contract with, but yeah, no, we don't pay for referrals. And, you know, my business comes from providing a great level of service. And that's why people contact me. That's why people refer me their buyers, because they know that they're going to get a good service, they're going to get the deal done, and it's going to close fast.
Wow, so you're a fast. What's the fastest you've ever closed?
I mean, I close them now easy under 21 days. I mean, we can close them in 2 weeks if we have to.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, everything moves fast. You know, we've got a great team, a great support staff, and it's, you know, a great upper management too, that if, hey, we need something to move, we got to move it fast. Okay, get it in, go through the channels, do everything. And, you know, a lot of time right now, we're just waiting on appraisers to get the appraisal done on the property, and we're just waiting on that front in order to close a loan.
Is it only residential or also commercial?
No, I don't do any commercial,
So
just
it's all residential, okay.
residential, and when a residential qualifies as a 1 to 4 unit, anything else above, you know, like a 5 unit complex, that would actually go to commercial.
And I've heard too that if you can rent, I mean, you might as well buy. That a lot of people don't realize that, you know, at this day and age, renting is like.
Well, it's funny too, because people think like, oh, I'm renting. Well, yeah, you're paying somebody else's mortgage. I don't care if it's an apartment complex or in a house. So you'd rather the money go towards actually building equity. And, you know, when you look at, you know, people who have high net worths, or even just the net worth of any individual, it's going to be exponentially higher if you're a homeowner. That's where like a large percentage of people's equity and people's, you know, assets and wealth comes from, is building equity over time on a house, and eventually they're going to sell it and make money on it.
Right, and then because when you rent, a lot of times you need to make 3 times as much as rent. So then that's where I heard that buying comes in handy. If you're going to do that, you might as well.
Oh yeah, I mean there's a lot of those, you know, different types of, you know, theories of, you know, do this or do that. And I think that if the mortgage payment is somewhat comparable to a rent payment, even if it's a little bit higher, you're still going to be getting more tax benefits if you're paying a mortgage versus renting. And renting, that's the thing, you know, with your mortgage payment, you kind of have a little bit of control over the increase on the mortgage payment over time just due to property taxes. But a landlord can always raise your rent.
Oh yeah, and that's typically what's going on right now.
Right,
yeah. So that's where buying comes in handy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you so much. We can pick your brain for hours. You'll have to come back and tell us some stuff too. Like, when, you know, every year you come back and tell us something. But also, so are you going to compete anytime soon? Any bodybuilding competitions? You said you were thinking about it.
I have been thinking very hard about maybe pushing for one in September. So
we're going to keep up on the socials. And if you win, you have to come back and talk about it.
I will.
Thank you so much for coming on the show.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much for coming on my show.
Well, it is an honor to be here.
The first time you've been here, because we did virtual last time.
Yeah, virtual was dope. I had my little daughter come on.
That was
She
so
kind of
cute.
interrupted the interview during the pandemic.
It was her birthday, huh?
Yes. You have a great memory.
That was so cute. She was so cute.
Yeah, she was. That's a little picture we'll have. She'll get to remember when she's older. So that was definitely a memory. But it's an honor to be here for the first time in person, and great to be on for the second time.
Okay, so we did, last time it was shoes. How did that go?
It went
Recap
great.
the audience about what we do with the shoes.
It went great. So last year was our third time doing our Kick It Outreach, and it was huge. Went all over the place.
Even with the pandemic, I mean, it was still, I know it's coming off, but that you still had to deal with those challenges.
Yeah, it was definitely challenges dealing with the pandemic, but we saw a need that obviously during the pandemic, a lot of families needed shoes. A lot of families needed help. And the community rallied around us to help at your show. So many shows that we were on radio. So many families got shoes. We were able to give close to 500 shoes out. We set up our event. We went out with our team, and we're out kind of in the mornings. Our event didn't start till like 11. And we kind of drove up at 8. It was already families lined up waiting for shoes.
That is so awesome. And you were so bright because you actually came to me and to get the shoes and that's just so, you know what I mean? That's going out your way to work around even just a drop off, because people probably think, okay, everyone just goes, drops off shoes, but you actually came to me to pick up the shoes, and that was great.
Yeah, that's something that our team kind of brought. It's a lot of people, some people have car trouble, but they want to donate. And some people have work, some people have schedules, and they don't want to drop off. So we have cars, and it's a big enough need with these kids needing shoes that we'll get in our cars, drive around Fresno, and go pick up shoes.
And that's what I love. That's you really putting in, you know.
Yeah, and it was an honor, just what you did, and all the people you were able to rally when we came up and picked shoes. We were so grateful for that. So grateful for that.
That's what happens. You have the vision, you do the legwork like that, and then everyone comes together. I love that.
Yeah. Yes.
So what's going on now? What are we doing this year?
So Kick It Outreach is back again. It's something that I've always told my team, told people that work with me in my church, we want to be consistent. Some events go 1 year, but we know every year families need shoes. It's been a goal for us to expand it because we know not only Fresno is suffering from kids with no shoes and families are struggling to get school shoes, there's kids all over California and the nation. So we were approached by Christine Stokes. She's an amazing woman that's over the top ranked girls that hold up the signs, and she has so many amazing nonprofit organizations that she's over. She saw what we were doing and offered to collaborate, and we all got together with a few other nonprofits in Las Vegas. And this year we're actually expanding to Las Vegas and bringing the event out there as well as Fresno, California.
Wow. Oh my, how are you gonna do all that?
We're gonna do what we can. It's amazing just having a team. My team, I can't say enough about them.
No, you guys do a lot. I can see you pulling it off. I'm just like, oh my gosh, that's so much work.
It's so much work, but it's worth it. I think God's main plan for us is to give to people. We're not just here just to sit down and kind of watch people. And we put in our time, we put in our effort. So we're going to be going down to Las Vegas on the 24th of this month.
So whose idea was that? Why Vegas?
Vegas came to us. Me and Christine connected on, and that's how God does it sometimes.
Right.
God knows. We kind of put the vision out there, and once we put it out there and we start saying that's what we want to do, then God got involved and an opportunity came about. And so she reached out to us and we said, can we collaborate on this? And she has great connections and connected us to a few other organizations, and it's going to be huge. They're already collecting a lot of shoes, and we'll be out there for the first event on the 24th.
Wow, that is so exciting. Yeah. Okay, so we got that the 24th, and the location is?
The location is on the flyer. I forget the exact location.
We'll pop it up, yeah.
But I'll definitely get the flyer. But it's going to be at a community center out in Las Vegas. This around a lot of homes and things of that nature. So they're planning on reaching close to 300 to 500.
And that's a weekend, right? That's so then people.
On Sunday.
So a lot of people might be in there that are watching this might be in Vegas for the weekend. So that's why we'll pop that up.
Yeah.
So we got that, and then what about the Fresno?
So the Fresno one will be August the 6th. So we always do ours in Fresno the week before school starts. So we're connecting with Tyler Maxwell, council member Tyler Maxwell, to put it on this year. He's in our district. So we have a lot of amazing things happening with ours this year. And we plan like every year. It started with us just taking bags to foster homes and group homes, and then it grew the next year to almost 100, and then the next year almost to 300 to 500, and it's
great to have goals too. See, Bill, like, well, let's do it this year this way. Let's do it this. And then, so what about, are you guys gonna have a music festival then?
So we're gonna have it'll be music out there, probably some DJs.
On the 6th of August 6th.
Yeah. August
and then
6th.
Will there be music in the Vegas one too?
Yeah, they're gonna have a lot of stuff. They're adding a lot of stuff to it.
And that's July.
Speakers.
Was that July?
Yeah, July. So we have, I believe, 3 weeks until we're out there.
So 3 weeks for the Vegas. So all you guys going on vacation to Vegas, that's the time to do, because you could just.
Yeah. So we're gonna use that as a time to go out there and bond with our team as well, and do our work that we need to do, but also have a good time in Vegas, of course.
Of course.
Yes, well, of course. We can't go out there without having fun.
So do we know any of the musicians that we have booked for that, and then the Fresno one? Because you always get cool people.
So these won't have musicians. So our Countdown to King event is when we will have musicians, but our Fresno one won't. But our one in Vegas, they're into getting athletes and some musicians to come out to come greet the kids and stuff like that. So they're still working on that. So a lot of that is probably going to be a surprise, but
that's cool.
We got the Raiders out there, and I know fighters out there. So
yeah, you do get a lot of people that are actually there, so that'll be helpful.
Yes.
So for the Fresno event on the 6th, no one's going to be performing on that?
No, we're not going to have anyone perform. I think this year, kind of what we wanted to do was really add a more festival type. It's hot, so we might have some bounce houses. Last year we had a free ice cream.
Did you have performers last year, though?
No, that was Countdown to King.
Oh, that was that one. So we're not doing anything like that this year.
So this one, kind of more festival side. We'll have some sports out there for the kids.
Well, yeah, it's very hot. Anything with water is good.
Oh, my God. So, we'll have some water slides and stuff like that. So we definitely just want to have it as a good day for the family to come out. We couldn't do a lot as far as touching and things of that nature last year with COVID. So This
Oh,
year,
that's right. Oh, wow.
Yeah, this year we kind of get to do a little bit more.
A little bit more. And then
kinda spend our money a
tickets,
little bit.
do we have to purchase tickets for both?
No,
We can show up?
The thing, Sparkle, is there's no tickets. What makes you eligible and your ticket for coming is just you being a human being. So there's no tickets. You just show up, get your shoes. And if you don't have shoes, especially at our one in Fresno, we'll take your shoe size, your phone number, and your address, and we'll come deliver them to you. We make it a point to make sure every kid walks away with shoes that comes to our event.
Oh, that is so sweet.
Yeah.
And so what if they don't need it? What if we have, we just want to come and support? And we don't need shoes. Can we come and just give shoes and be like, hey?
Of course. So right now is actually a very vital time because it's where we're getting our donations. Our goal this year is to get as many brand new pairs of shoes as possible. Gently used is great, and some of our, there's people that have shoes that they might have worn 1 or 2 times, so they're in great condition.
Or that they don't fit. Sometimes we get pairs that just don't fit, and we're like, okay.
Yeah. So we have that, but this year our goal is to get as many new pairs of shoes as possible. So we have people already donating shoes, cash donations, and all that is coming in, and we're going to go out and buy so many. Last year we went to stores with sales, and we just bought all the shoes that was on sale and put them on. This year now is about getting our donations. From now until the week of the event, where like we did with you, we're scanning through Fresno, picking up shoes, or we have the number. I know City Hall is a place where you can go drop off shoes. They have a drop-off box for us out there. So there's going to be more locations where you can drop off.
I love that. That's
if
perfect.
you just need us to come get it, we'll get in our cars and go pick them up. It's that big of a deal for us.
And then as far as cash donations, where can we send that to?
Cash is through our Cash App, and I'll send the flyer for that, you can put that up. I forget, I don't want to say the wrong
That's
name
fine.
for that, but yeah. I believe it's Kick It Outreach 22, all lowercase, but I'll definitely have the cash
So,
for that.
A little recap for our viewers about who you are and what you do.
Yeah.
Because you're like the young pastor, right? People looking at you like, what? And so tell us how you got into that. And I know you made these events, you're a really driving force behind all these events, but tell us how you got into this.
Well, I've been in church since I was born. My father and mother is in ministry, so I've been around it my whole life. I started off as a drummer in church, so music was also my background. I still play a little here and there. People still try to get me to play, but
You've never played for the congregation?
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Yeah. So I played time to time. Just actually played a few events
nice.
a few weeks ago. But I started with the drums when I got older. I kind of thought that's what I was called to do, but people would always tell me, you're going to do other things, you're going to be in ministry, you're going to be a leader. And I was like, I want to play the drums. But I got older, my father put me over our youth and young adults ministry, and I was so scared because it was leading a lot of youth. And that was kind of my introduction into leading. I always knew I was a leader, but I never had been placed in that position. So some people didn't think I can do it, and I kind of trusted God in that area, took it on, and been able to do some great things with it. But with that, it kind of opened the door to me doing work in the community, and a lot of that came from watching Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. when I was young. A lot of kids had posters on their walls of sports athletes and things of that nature. When I was 5, 6 years old, he was on my wall. So I always looked at how he served in the community, my father and mother, how they served in the community. My grandfather, Matthew B. Thomas, was a great community leader, did a lot with the politics and Democratic Party when he was here. So I've been able, I didn't know a lot about what he did until I became a community leader. And a lot of people, your grandfather did a lot what you're doing.
Isn't that cool to hear that?
It's crazy. So I'm doing a lot with what my father did, walking in his footsteps, but also my grandfather. So it's definitely an honor. But it's been a blessing. I take my position of a young pastor, minister, whatever you want to call me. I don't really take the title too literal. It's about what I'm doing. And I always want to affect people and impact people. So it's out of the 4 walls for me. If I see, like with the situations with the racism at Bullitt, I'm going to speak up. I'm going to make sure I'm speaking up for people. If I see things going on and things wrong, if I see situations like with the shoes, I'm always going to step up. So
did you go to Bullard and talk to them?
Yeah.
Wow, how did that go?
It went well, and we were able to, get some things worked out. But I just wanted to make my presence known, and then offer some help to the kids, and we were also able to do that. But I actually wrote a big post, and it kind of went around and was on Central Valley Today. They kind of called wind of it and brought me on to come talk about it and my views on that. But anywhere I can help people, I love people, so my heart is to help people, and anything I can, I'm always going to do that from my position in ministry.
And then, so you kind of took over, you're at the same church that your dad was at, right?
So my dad is still there. My dad is the senior pastor.
And you are
I am the assistant minister.
Okay.
At the church. So I've been behind him for some years. My father and mother's been pastoring since I was 7 years old. So we're actually new location on Blackstone and Shaw.
From the last time you were on my show, the new location?
So where were we? We were actually getting ready to move into our
That's
new
what I thought.
location.
Okay, you hadn't moved quite yet, but now you're on Blackstone Shaw. That's a great location.
Yeah, great location. A lot of families.
And it's called?
Living Word Church.
Living Word Church. Yeah. Wow. How fun was that to me? Is it a bigger church?
Yeah. It's so much room for potential in our building. My parents did a great job finding a great spot, and it's going to affect a lot of people. And as we've been doing for years since I was young, it's going to continue to do the same thing. But there's a lot of room for growth where we're at, and that's what I really love. That we have room to grow. It's in a prime area of town, and it's in a place where we can make impact. So I definitely love it, and can't wait to see what we continue to do.
And where's the old location that you guys were at? So
the location that we were really known for, at the time our church grew to about 600, 700 members, was on Blackstone and Abbey. But right before there, we were on Blythe, was the street? Blythe and right off of Shaw, right behind the Costco over there.
So where, when like the last church that you left, what did it become now? Is it still a church, or did it?
Actually, a church ended up purchasing it. So there's another church over there. I forget the exact name, but they're great people.
It wasn't Clovis Hills though?
No, it wasn't Clovis Hills. But it's another church.
But you're friends with Pastor Sean, right? I think we talked about it before, that.
Yes, ma'am. I love the unity and pastors in our area. It's always good. So.
I know, that's what's great. Every time I bring, you guys, and then I don't know if you know Joe Basile. He's been on our show.
No, I haven't met him.
But I know a lot of people, like, you guys communicate and keep up, whatever. He's the cigar smoking pastor, Joe Basile.
Yeah. Well, look, I say all the time that everybody has things that they do, and religion has taught you a lot.
Yeah.
That you can't do certain things like that, but God is looking at your heart.
Right. The reason I said cigar smoking is because he started something where they did Bible studies at one of those cigar spots or whatever. So they do it like every Tuesday. It's like a thing that they do. There's
just something that actually went viral with a pastor. He got a lot of blowback for it, but he's in LA for doing something similar. With a main event.
Really, in LA?
Yeah.
Interesting.
But however, see, Jesus, when he was here, I always tell people, he did preaching in the temple, but if you look at a lot of the stories, and when he was here, he was teaching on a mount, or he was teaching on a boat, or he was out at a party with turning the water to wine.
Right.
So he was always unconventional with the way he did ministry, and I love seeing that, and I feel like I'm similar in that way. That's why I love getting out of the four walls. Yeah, you're always on the move. You're out there doing it. I love that. That is cool. Yeah, so I try to take and follow Jesus' example from that standpoint of going to reach those and showing them that we're human just like you, and God loves all of us, and if I can be God's light for you, hopefully I can make a change. And what's the denomination of your church, the Living Word? Right? We're non-denomination. So non-denomination, perfect. Yeah, we have some people that have. So everybody can go. Everybody can go. We've had Baptist people, Catholic people, Pentecostal, black, white, Mexican, everybody's welcome. Heaven is going to be like that. It's not going to be, our church, just us. It's going to be Clovis Hills and Cornerstone and People's Church. We're all going to be in one big pot. We're all one family, and that's what the kingdom is all about, us being all together. And then, so was it cool when you guys moved? Because you got a lot of that neighborhood, and then a lot of the people that you guys had followed you. So it had have you seen that change? Yeah. It's actually growing fast. People actually from all over the valley's coming because we're in such a prime spot. The people can just jump on the freeway, 99. get
Yeah,
off on.
that's what you told me. I was like, yeah, that seems great.
Yeah, so we're seeing that. We're seeing some people that was with us before also join us back again. So it's definitely been beautiful to see.
So are we ever going to do that music festival again that you guys had a few years ago? Everybody asked you that, huh?
No. The reason why I was saying that is because I was so bummed we didn't get to do it. It's called Countdown to King. And that's where we bring a lot of it's the concert rally.
Right.
And I did my first one. We made national news for that. Yahoo did a piece about us on that. It made so much impact here. And we couldn't do it the year after because of COVID.
Right.
So we were excited, putting all of our effort into it. And this year, Dr. King's family. So we're in the middle of it. My assistant sends me a message. And it says, you got to go read this. Dr. King's family said it can't be any celebration of the holiday without legislation on a voting rights bill.
Okay.
So I'm like, shoot, we're like in the middle of, we're getting all of our people signed up and amazing. We actually have, we're at the Tower Theater for it. So it's going to be huge.
Wow.
And so my team, we all sat down and they said, whatever you think. So I did some praying about it. And I wanted to get behind what Dr. King would have done during that time, which is fight for voting rights. So I scrapped the event, put a video out, and I went to the city of Fresno and the Dr. King committee and told them, I know you guys are doing what you're doing, but if we can really help push you guys' day to really shift to voting rights. And we were successful with that. We were able to be one of the ones leading the march for Dr. King Day. And it was amazing to see everybody kind of get behind that. So we made a lot of impact.
I love that.
But I'm definitely ready for our event this coming year. And we got to get you there too.
Oh, for sure. So 2023?
Yeah, 2023. We're already locked in. So fingers crossed. There's nothing that causes it not to happen, but we're definitely excited.
Well,
about
see, that's what's so
it.
great about you. Just keep on going, and you're like, okay, now we got this set, we got this set. You just keep moving.
I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. I'm young and I know what my calling is, so I'm definitely always moving like yourself.
Where can we see the thing that you did at Bullard High? Did you guys record that? Did you post that?
Yeah, it's on my social media page. I don't know if Central Valley. So it wasn't on Central Valley today. It does the news on channels.
Right.
Yeah, so it was on the news one. So me and him did it, and it was a great interview, and I was able to share some thoughts about that.
Okay, so we just have to go kind of to your socials, then we'll sift through it and then find it.
Yes, ma'am.
You are always doing great things. I love it.
Yeah. Well, definitely love and thankful for the opportunity to come talk about it with you.
So everyone needs to donate shoes. Locations, you still can get it. Where is the other? What was the main location?
So the main location is it's actually at our church, Living Word Church, right on Blackstone.
John Blackstone.
4854 North Blackstone, right next to the Enterprise. Used to be a Viva Furniture. And then also you can, if you're on that side of town, you can go right to City Hall, and they're gonna have a box out there where you can donate shoes this week or next week.
Okay.
You can come and do that. So, and we plan on adding even more. So we have a number on there where you can call.
And then you'll keep us posted on your socials, on your Instagram, which is
E. Darrell Thomas or Edward Darrell Thomas on Instagram and Facebook.
Okay, we're gonna keep track of this. Everyone needs to donate shoes, so come on out.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Felt right in the moment, felt right in the summertime. It felt right drinking cherry wine with you. Just wanted to own it, just wanted to take the time, learn all the things that I could about you. Now it's such a mess here, oh, we are just stressed here. Used to be so easy with you. Now I must confess here, oh, I must confess, dear, don't think I'm in love with you. Winter is coming and I don't know what to do, and there's no more use in running, no more running to you. And I don't want your loving, I don't wanna be just friends, knowing all this time we were playing pretend.
It's a mystery.